It's so crazy. They're like a family of 4 or 5, and they have a few employees. And dude, it's like a $20 million business. Kind of like what I see all the time. No consistent segregation of the audiences. So no top, middle, and bottom of funnel campaigns. One of the biggest mistakes I see, at least mistakes in my mind, is going past 30 days. Like, Ian, do you remember what you did 30 days ago plus on Meta in an ad? And as soon as we got our ads up, sales went up, revenue skyrocketed probably the first 60 to 80 days that we worked with them. And they were kind of freaking out. Pinterest is kind of the silent sleeper, dude. Pinterest has come a long way. Pinterest is actually besides Meta now, like, dude, I don't even recommend Google anymore. So here's the thing. Just imagine spending $50K a month on Facebook ads, making a 7x return, okay? That's a really good return, right?
So with Diamondback Tools, coming back to that, what were the first few things that you did for them that got them results?
So first thing I did was segment out the ads based on where the person was at in the funnel. Top of funnel being prospecting, middle of funnel being people who engaged with Facebook, Instagram pages, or landed on their homepage, didn't go anywhere else. And then bottom of funnel being add to cart and view content. And when I mean view content, meaning so in Diamondback's case, they went to a tool belt system, the product page, and looked around, but didn't add to cart, didn't purchase. So that still is a very warm person because they're actually taking the time to go to a product page, right? So that I consider bottom of funnel. The other thing too that you really have to look at in ads is the look back time of these audiences, right? I see like one of the biggest mistakes I see, at least mistakes in my mind, is going past 30 days. Like Ian, do you remember what you did 30 days ago plus on Meta in an ad? Do you remember? No, right? I don't remember either. I'm a freaking marketer and I don't remember, right? So one of the biggest things I see is like, oh, let's just do a 180-day look back. I'm like, dude, if they haven't looked at your brand or interacted with your brand in 30 days, they're cold again. You have to bring them back in, bring them through the funnel again. They do not remember what they did 30 days ago, maybe not even 14 days ago, right? So depending on how much they're spending, the biggest thing that we do is we do a bottom of funnel 7-day, 14-day, 30-day look back, segment out each, exclude each from each other. So we hit the really hot people at 7 days, the kind of hot people at 14, and then like the 14 to 30, or I should say 15 to 30 days, like they'll just kind of trickle in, right? But then if they haven't interacted with the brand in 30 days, they go back into top of funnel and we serve them with top of funnel ads. So again, most people, most brands, especially in-house people, like I don't know any in-house person that's thinking like that.
No.
Right? And it's because we have the experience and the knowledge to break out that targeting. So that's what I did first. And as soon as we got our ads up, I mean, sales went up, revenue skyrocketed probably the first 60 to 80 days that we worked with them. And they were kind of freaking out. Actually, they ran out of stock and they had they had to actually, and they were freaking out because they were also switching manufacturers where they got their products manufactured. And so there was a delay there. And so we actually had to bring down spend. And in 6 months, we had them spending quite a bit and they were kind of freaking out. So, and the ROAS stayed at around a 4, which was cool to see.
The ROAS, and the MER was continuous too.
Yeah,
right?
the MER kept getting better.
Nice.
Because again, they were on Google and we also started Pinterest ads for them. And you know, it's funny, believe it or not, being a male-oriented brand, right? Construction workers, dude, they still kill it on Pinterest. And you wouldn't think that. You would think Pinterest is like predominant female, looking at wedding pins or whatever the hell they're looking at, right? But dude, I mean, these guys are dudes on construction sites, like buying stuff from them on Pinterest as well.
Yeah.
So pretty crazy to think. And we have another brand, Move Bumpers. It's a DIY weld-it-yourself truck bumper company. You buy these bumpers for your trucks. They weld it themselves, powder coat them. they 20x Pinterest ads because there's a
Wow.
huge truck community on Pinterest. Pinterest is kind of the silent sleeper, dude. It's Pinterest has come a long way. Pinterest is actually my besides Meta now. Like, dude, I don't even recommend Google anymore. I'm like, hey, let's get you on Pinterest, and they're like, really?
Yeah.
Thought of that? I'm like, yeah, let's do it. So, yeah, it's
That's,
pretty cool.
I mean,
Yeah.
and because you got to think about that, because also there's the intent in Pinterest, right? It's like,
Correct.
I'm intending to go there for this
Yep.
group, for this community. Like
Yep.
Facebook and Meta, you kind of drift through. But
Yep.
Pinterest, I'm like, I'm going there because I want this thing.
Yeah, and it's cool because Pinterest, it's a lot like Google where you can target interest keywords as well. So like Diamondback's a perfect example, or truck bumper company, right? Those dudes are, Chevy, Ford trucks, like all that stuff. And then 4x4s and, DIY stuff. So you can target interest keywords on Pinterest, which makes your targeting actually very accurate. And you can serve your ads to the right person the first time. It's pretty crazy.
Yeah, because it's not a general interest. I love that. And so Diamondback Tools, you grew. How much are they spending now?
They spend upwards of 150K a month on
Wow.
ads. Actually, this month we're probably upwards of 200K. But I can't really say that completely because we haven't actually made it there yet. But we're on track. By the end of February, we should be at around 200K, maybe a little bit over.
And that's amazing. That's a great way to scale a business.
Mhm.
And so in the end, what did that mean for Diamondback Tools? I mean, obviously we're spending more money, they're making more money, but how did it change their business?
Well, I mean, it's I think it made them realize, because I think when they first came to us, one of their lingering questions was, are we going to tap out of our audience? Right? There's only so many construction workers out there, right? Most of them are old school. They're still carrying the leather bags. These are like kind of like nylon, cool looking bags for construction workers. And I was like, no, we'll be fine. And we've kind of proved that, right? Like, hey, am I going to tap out, or is it is marketing going to limit us in the future for us being able to scale? And we pretty much like proved them wrong and said no, like, well, let's keep growing this thing. And we don't see it stopping or slowing down, because now actually what we're seeing is there's a big female customer base that's growing at Diamondback, because a lot more females are getting into construction now, which is kind of interesting. Woodworking, electricians, carpentry, a lot of females are getting into it. And we have a lot of female videos now, which is pretty crazy. So that's even another demographic that'll help the brand keep growing and scaling as time goes on. So
And that's fantastic. And it shows too the importance of having outside perspective.
absolutely.
Were they targeting females at all before?
No,
Yeah.
they weren't. And
And
then we suggested to them, like, hey, what if we just target some females? Like, do you have any female influencers? Or the other cool thing that Meta came out with a while ago is partnership ads, where you can partner with an influencer, you can partner with another brand, and what that does is it opens up their audience to your audience, and vice versa, their audience to your audience as well, which is kind of cool. And that's getting bigger and bigger as well as we kind of get into this new AI generation. And the other stat I heard, which was interesting, is people are putting more validity on non-AI generated UGC content now than ever before. Because after a while, like, UGC kind of died out a bit,
yeah,
but now people are actually getting pissed, going like, dude, I can tell this freaking video's AI. Like, why would I buy from you when it's just a damn AI person, like, with no feelings, no like real, like, hey, I'm a customer of this brand, you should check this stuff out, right?
yeah.
So we're also going to get into the world of people getting tired of the AI generated videos. Now, don't get me wrong, AI is working in the background to help these ads reach the right person and do all these different things. But when it comes to the ad itself, it has to be true and authentic. There's only one way to portray that, which is a real UGC video or a real customer testimonial, right?
Video case story.
Yeah, exactly. Like what you do. Exactly. Yeah.
No, it's true. And what's interesting to me, I mean, I don't want to go off too much a tangent, but I'm seeing more and more backlash against AI generated video,
Yeah,
and
absolutely.
a complete lack of trust. And I see people rushing to it. And I'm like, this is the if especially if you have a service business like you all do, or there's a story behind it.
Yep.
Um, and so you mentioned before with Diamondback Tools, you were telling some problem stories too. Tell me a little about those that you did and how those worked.
Yeah, so I mean, problems. There's a big issue with back pain in the construction industry, and just the bags not being, um, you know, like all their weights on their hips. And Diamondback went to a like a lumbar supported belt with these suspenders and vests modular systems now. And we told that really big pain point was, hey, are you a construction worker? And dude, you just feel like shit on the job site, like it's probably your really crappy bags that you've had for 10 years, that don't support your lower back, all the weights on your hips and things like that. So you tell a story of pain points in ad copy, and of course that resonates with these guys and gals now. um,
Yeah.
and, and if you do that, you're going to have more results, better click-through rates, and telling a story of pain points and also success, right? Like, hey,
Mhm.
Bob over here switched to our system 6 months ago, and guess what? Like his hips don't hurt anymore. He doesn't have pain going down his legs from it cutting off his sciatic nerve and things like that. So yeah, and that's the part of the agency that I think a lot of people don't realize is we do a lot of research, not just to sell products, but to tell a legitimate, true story about what's going on around the brand and why they should purchase. And here's the other
Mhm.
thing too, man. Like I really have to like and be behind the products that we're advertising as well, because if I'm not, like, you're going to be able to tell in the content we produce, you know.
That's interesting. Yeah.
Yeah.
No,
Yeah.
and I love that because you work with a lot of, when we look through your brands,
Hmm.
there's like you said, a lot of blue collar brands in there,
Yeah.
and because you also like it's important because you know the end user.
Correct. Yeah. Well, I am, and a lot of these, I am the end user, right? I mean,
Yeah.
dude, I'd love to order a bumper from Move Bumpers and weld it together, like with my son or something, in the garage, and just be chilling. And like Diamondback. I mean, I'm not a construction worker, but I still do like woodworking projects where I could have some of their stuff, and and then we even have clients in the lead generation space. Like we have a client called No Adam where they spend $50K a month on lead gen, and they target teachers, principals, administrators in school districts. And that's a super niche audience as well, but they still spend $50K a month, right?
Wow.
So,
Yeah.
and again, it's a complete different storytelling process there, right? To like hook in a teacher and, hey, your students could do better if you're doing this. Come download that, or whatever. So, and then we've got supplement products and all, whiskey brands, which were kind of a no-no on Facebook before, CBD brands as well. Like we have a CBD brand called Kind Oasis, and they spend about 80K a month on ads, which a year ago you couldn't get a CBD company on Facebook,
No.
and you still actually have to know the policies, and you have to kind of finagle some of the creatives. But dude, there's so many cool businesses out there um that we work with and that we'd love to work with and get behind, so
Yeah.
yeah.
And tell me a little bit about Pet Select.
Yeah, Small Pet Select. They're a brand out of Washington State, family owned brand. It's so crazy. They're like a family of four or five, and they have a few employees. And dude, they're doing like, it's like a $20 million business, right? I mean, they make hay from local farms, hay, food, all organic, really healthy foods for rabbits and chickens and guinea pigs and chinchillas and all that. And to think they're spending 100K a month on ads at a 7x return. When they came to
Yeah.
us, they're actually, ROAS was super low when they came to us. They're only spending a couple thousand, and we saw the potential in the product, and in their Shopify store and all that. And man, it just all of a sudden took off. And again, good ad structure, full funnel ad structure. And next thing you know, we're spending 50K, and they're kind of freaking out because again, they're having stock issues and going, man, I don't think we can keep up with this. So we created a lot of problems for them because they had to figure out what was going on with their stock and their manufacturing and all that stuff. And they found other partners and farmers, and now they're killing it, which is super cool to see. So.
When they came to you and you did the strategic review, what did you first see was wrong with their ads?
Well, kind of like what I see all the time. No consistent segregation of the audiences. So no top, middle, and bottom of funnel campaigns running. Very little ad copy / creative testing. Clumping everything together in one and just letting the system deal with it. No consistent structure on how they're talking to people in ads. So kind of the same stuff. Like, this is the same thing I see in all ad accounts. Even like I said, even agencies are doing this stuff, man. And I'm just like, dude, what are we doing here? Like, well, again, think outside the box here,
Well, that's the problem I see not with marketing in general, because the marketers are marketing to make more marketers.
Right.
And it's circular. So they teach something and then someone else teaches it and it becomes dogma, even though it's not the real thing. I see this on YouTube.
Correct.
It's like, this influencer got 1 billion views. I'm like, but you don't need 1 billion views if you are an attorney. You need to just talk to, like you said, like the person with that problem.
Yeah. Well, and the other thing too that I really look at before I even get to the strategic review, and most marketing agencies aren't asking these questions like, hey, what are your margins? What's your MRR? Okay, you don't know your MRR. Let's figure it out really quick, right? I'll show you how to figure it out. And hey, what's your LTV? Do you have any monthly reoccurring revenue coming in? What's your conversion rate on your site? Because guess what? If your conversion rate on your site is below a 1%, turning on ads is going to make that even worse, right?
Yeah.
So we need to get that conversion rate up first before we get ads going. And what conversion rate optimization have you done on your site? Things like that. Like, I'm asking all these questions, and then if they kind of pass the sniff test from there, then we get into the strategic review. And because you'd be surprised, I'll go into a discovery call with a client, and they're telling me all these awesome numbers. Then I get into their ad account, and I'm like, wait, I thought he said they were at a 5x return. They're not even at a 1. It's like what the hell's going on here? So yeah, it's a definite process, and we're looking for long-term relationships here. I don't want someone to sign up for 3 months and then want to leave because there's no results there. Well, if you have an agency that didn't set the right expectations up front, let us know. We'll chat.
Well, and it's not that these agencies don't do education. It's just that they don't have the experience, and it, like you said, it becomes circular. And I see this all the time.
Yeah.
And so they're learning from someone, and someone else says, well, do this thing. And it's like, well,
and what they're doing probably works for a bit, right? Just like anything else. But then once you get into the spend where it's, I would say $50K plus a month, you've got to be doing different things in the ad account. You can't just be doing the same things over and over and hope it works and wins. And, you've got to be talking to the brand. Hey, what's coming down the pipeline? What new products do you have coming down the pipeline, right? That's another thing of growing and scaling. Like Diamondback, when we first came to them, they had one belt system. Now they have like 4 different ones, right? They keep wanting to get better. They listen to their customers. They look at their current product and, okay, how can we do better? And they're also construction workers themselves. So they're in the industry. They know what's going on, which is cool to see, because that's how you grow and scale. It's not just turning on ads and, okay, guys, let's get to 100K a month. There are so many moving parts. And they also came to us and said, hey, we'd like to do some CRO on our conversion rate optimization on our site. Do you know anybody? Dude, I have the best company that you can go. And guess what? They listened, they went to them, and now their conversion rate is a 4% instead of a 2%, right? So it's like, we can all work together, but like, don't ask me something and just ignore it, and then ask me later, like, why aren't we doing this? Like, bro, I already told you why we're not doing this. That happens all the time,
Yeah. AI told me that we should be doing this.
Yeah. Oh, AI told me that Meta gets all these bots now. And I'm like, okay, well, let's install some heat maps to check it out. See, look, your heat maps are full of Google bots, not Meta bots, right? So it's crazy.
It's crazy.
It is crazy.
And so, and I like this, you know, we talk about this a lot. What you is when you get the right agency and the right, you delegate, you can do what you're best at, and it's making new products,
Yeah,
listening to your
correct,
customers, right?
correct.
And which you unleash with Diamondback Tools. Tell me about Small Pet Select. How have they grown? How has their business changed?
I mean, it's changed exponentially, because they went from a smallish business to a pretty medium sized business, all because of ads. And they were another one where we started with ads, got to about that 50K in spend, and we said, okay, let's branch out, let's start doing Pinterest ads. Again, another Pinterest success story there. Their ROAS wasn't as high on Pinterest, but a consistent 4 to 5x on Pinterest, spending 30 so here's the thing. Just imagine spending 50K a month on Facebook ads, making a 7x return. Okay? That's a really good return, right?
Yeah.
So they're cashing in on Facebook, and then imagine turning on Pinterest, spending 20K in month 1 at a 4x return. You just added another 70K in revenue right there.
Yeah.
Overnight, like in a month. Like, who can do that? What other company or what other agency can you bring in, and then in a month or two you can start Pinterest ads and add another 50 to 70K in revenue in a month and a half, 2 months? Dude,
Yeah.
like, and what's crazy is, like, people talk shit about agencies all the time, and even like we've had clients leave and they're like, oh, well, my buddy down the street's getting a 10x. You guys can't produce a 10x return, so I'm out of here, right? And then next thing you know, they're coming back going, yeah, you know what? You guys were really good. Sorry we left.
Yeah.
But we want to come back. But honestly, like, I don't think agencies really get a lot of credit as well. And I speak from experience because, and then once that 50 to 70K gets added, then they're like, okay, well, what's next? What can we do next? And I'm like, dude, hold on. Like, we just made you a ton of money in a few months. And it also it sometimes goes unnoticed. Right.
Yeah.
And even though we have a case study, or we remind them, hey, we just added another 30K to your revenue stack, So I guess in short terms, that's how Small Pet changed. And I know I'll be forever grateful for working with them. They're such good people. They deserve all the success in the world. But we helped them with that. Right. And they're very appreciative. They love us. We love them. And the cool thing is hopefully they never leave, because we'll just keep growing and scaling, And here's the other thing too. It's not always pretty. We make mistakes. They make mistakes. If we leave a period out of an ad copy at the end of a sentence and they see it, they don't go, oh, I'm out of here because you guys left or like, hey, that wasn't the image that I really wanted. And, whatever, like, you work through stuff like adults. It's almost like a relationship, there's going to be
relationship.
There's going to be bumps in the road. It's how you handle the bumps in the road that really defines the relationship, not all the good times that continue to happen. Right.
I love that.
Yeah. So
that's great advice. I mean, it's such good advice because, and I think that there's so many marketing agencies out there saying that they're perfect and they're not, and to going, hey, we have problems too.
Everybody has problems. Yeah.
And there's so many moving parts. This
so
isn't
many. Yeah.
moving. I mean, this isn't changing a tire. No offense to tire people.
Yeah.
But it's building a Ferrari.
Correct.
And having the track change every 2 miles.
Yeah. Again, it's like meta ads is only one little portion. Your website is one portion. Your page load speed is a portion, right? Your checkout process is a portion, right? All that stuff it's a portion of the big, overarching puzzle that we all are helping brands try to figure out, So
I love it. So if someone wants to 10x their ROAS, just kidding. But
here we go. No, just kidding. Yeah.
I mean, but a solid partner who can take a look at it, and get their own strategic review and take a look at it. Because I mean, you do a strategic review, you're not always saying, hey, everything's bad. And you
correct. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I mean, we point out all the good stuff, and I always say in my videos when I'm recording, I'm like, hey, this is actually really good. I like what they're doing here. Maybe it could be better, or maybe, they're doing a great job. Like, you're not going to find another agency that knows how to do better work than this. Stay with them or stick with them. Or, hey, your in-house person is actually doing great. If you want me to help out with some courses, let me know. I'll send it over to them. Right? Like, that's where I provide value as well. I think I try to provide as much value up front, but also set the proper expectations, saying like, hey, we can come in. You may not make, $100,000 in 3 months like Small Pet did or Diamondback. But what are your goals? Let's try to get you there,
Yeah.
Because every brand's different.
Every brand's different. So just if someone wants to set up their strategic review, they just go to Spotlight to the website. We'll put a link to the show notes. They can set one up.
Yep.
And how long does that process take?
It just takes a couple days. So yeah, you can just go to spotlightsocialadvertising.com, click on the strategic review. And actually on our website, I actually have on our website past strategic reviews that I've done. You can click on them and it'll take you to the actual strategic review if you want to look at what we do. And I probably shouldn't showcase that, but I'm like, screw it. I'll let them know exactly what we're doing, So you go there, you can book a call right there on the strategic review site. And actually, if you even want to give us access and everything before we jump on our call, that way I come prepared, knowing your ad account and all that stuff. We make it very easy for you. We have a software that we connect for that. But yeah, go there and be awesome. So,
all right, we'll put a link to all that in the show notes. Jason Smith, Meta Ads expert.
Thanks,
awesome
man.
in person. Thank you for being on the Garlic Marketing Show.
Yeah, happy to be here. Thanks, dude. Appreciate it. We'll see you.
And thank you all for making Jason and I part of your story. It's been Iron Garlic and the Garlic Marketing Show.